Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faith Black Lights, we take a look at this. And what this is from 4 6s. Ranch tested, cowboy approved, sure. Yeah, yep. It is the Salt Creek hot sauce with cayenne peppers. And so the 4 6 Ranch, one of Texas's most legendary cattle and horse ranches. Owned in part by writing and creator Taylor Sheridan. I don't know who that is. And so what I think is more interesting with this is I was looking at this a little bit, and then I saw this. B&G. So B&G also owns Trappy. They're one of the larger sort of food companies out there. And so I was like, this is really odd. Because they also, Trappy has the Bull, which has been reviewed elsewhere, which is a red jalapeno instead of cayenne. But they also, of course, Trappy makes Red Devil. I haven't had it in quite a while. I need to get some more again, actually. But I haven't had it in a really, really long time. But it was my favorite tasting Louisiana-style sauce for a very, very long time. No heat whatsoever in it, though. Which is kind of the case here also. But we'll get into that here momentarily. So, if we can get my camera to cooperate here. Okay, so there we've got vinegar, water. We got distilled vinegar, aged cayenne peppers, salt, guar gum, xanthan gum, and ascorbic acid. This looks basically like what it is, which is just your run-of-the-mill cayenne Louisiana style sauces. That is exactly what it looks like in the spoon. That is exactly what the flavor is. Very red orangey. So Try Me has one as well. There's not a shortage of these. I don't know if they're making them for the grocery store chains, but a lot of the grocery store chains will have this same sort of thing also. And it's like they're all kind of at the same price point as well. So I'm not sure. My only suspicion here is that B&G was interested in this pretty much strictly for the connection with that author, whoever that is. I can't think of another reason why they would be interested in having basically these duplicates to their current lineup. But anyway, I didn't know any of this prior to getting it, and I needed some money for freight, of course, on Amazon. So that's kind of what we were looking at. But that aside, let's get on into this. You can taste everything. Very vinegar forward. Taste of vinegar and the cayenne and the salt. This is not. So this tastes to me like a lighter version of Red Devil. And it's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with this salt. It doesn't wow me as Red Devil frequently does. Or did. I haven't had it in quite a while. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was a relabel. With their other hot sauce being basically a relabel of the Trappy Bull. Wouldn't be shocked at all with that, which is, this is fine. I don't want anything more in the Louisiana style sauce than this. This is fine for what it is. It isn't, like I said, it's not going to wow anybody, at least not me. But I have no issue with this at all. It's a perfectly Solid, middle of the road, Louisiana style sauce, but is very, very low on heat. So this is something you want to use to cut richness. And that's kind of about where it stops. You're not going to get any heat out of this because there is no heat to get. It is a tad saltier. That spoon was anyway, but depending on what you pair it with, that may or may not show up as well. So, I mean, you can see it's very watery, just like those sauces are. I mean, this is just a great example of a Louisiana-style cayenne sauce. Nothing more, nothing less. It just represents that style, I think, pretty well. Just there's no heat, which others will have more and others will have less, but it is not. I mean, it's very pedestrian. It's very middle of the road. Like, it doesn't have the harshness that Crystal has. You think of like a Texas Pete, something like that kind of is where this sort of falls in. And I think Texas Pete is a pretty decent sauce. That might be what they're angling for. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff. See here, we've got a couple of fried eggs with double fried eggs, over easy with, actually they're over medium, with melted cheese. We've got melted cheese on some ham, and then we got some regular ham. So I was thinking, what did I want to make to go with this? Because I use this sauce. You see it in videos a lot for fried foods. You see it in mac and cheese and other cream dishes. I'm like, well, I don't want to just kind of keep doing that. So one of the other places I think it works really well is stuff like Hot Pockets and things like that. I mean, I use this sauce for a lot of different things, actually, but the Hot Pockets sort of thing. So they weren't on sale, but I did see out there were these Hillshire Farms ham and cheese croissants, and they were $7 for 2 of them. And I said, okay, well, let me see if I can do better. So I got 4 of these croissants for $5. You can see these are these nice large baked ones from the store. I got I think 8 slices of cheese for a couple bucks, and this is probably more cheese than is in those, and I still have a bunch of cheese left over. I've got croissants left over, so it would have been 4 for $14. So I got 4 croissants for $14, but I also got 2 of those entire tubs of ham. So I haven't even emptied 1 tub for this video. I have quite a bit of ham left, and of course, with the cheese, I've got plenty of cheese left over as well to have, you know, for the rest of the sandwiches. So I thought I was initially just going to make that, and I thought, you know, here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to actually make that. So this will be their ham and cheese croissant. I'm making it with a lot more ham, of course, though, than they would normally use, and we'll put this here. So we're going to put the sauce on the ham, and then we're going to put these eggs on that, and then ooh, man, those eggs are tasty, tasty. Then we'll put this on the top half of the bun for this one, and this is, I'm actually filming this at night, so this is my dinner. Just a couple of these jobbies here, and yeah, it's a good, it's sauce tastes fine. Here you go. Looking pretty good. How about from over here? How about that? Egg coming right out of the sandwich. You can see the ham poking out from this one here, and then of course there's more eggs there. Yeah. Yep. I was going if those go on sale at a reasonable price. I will do. Oh man, that is so good. So this one is the brown sugar ham. The other one's a honey ham. I don't know what they use in those boxes. But the boxes aren't particularly big. And Hot Pockets were on sale. Hot Pockets, man. I remember when those used to be a couple bucks for a box. I saw them on this last trip and it was like $5.50. In what world? Oh man, this had such a nice sort of savory element to this. We have the rich croissant. We got the rich medium cheddar. We got the ham with a little bit of that brown sugar. I really wanted a smoked ham, but I couldn't find one. I mean, I know fuck all about that ranch or whoever this Taylor Sheridan dude is. I think it's a dude. Might be a chick, actually. Well, whoever that person is. But as far as this sauce, this is just your garden variety mass market sauce, and it's fine. As far as those go, the one I think I've liked the best in that category, well, obviously Red Devil, but I did one for, I think it's called Food Club. And that one, it was like $1 and change for I think it was a 12 fluid ounce bottle. This one was like 2 or 3, but it's a 5 fluid ounce bottle. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's all it is. They're trying to capitalize on the name of a famous person. We've seen that a million times. All right. Now this is a double egg, double cheese, honey ham croissant. The eggs are cooked to perfection. Of course, I cooked them. Wow. Wow. That honey ham is slightly sweeter than the brown sugar ham. It seems like not as fatty, but just contributing to the overall flavors here. This isn't reading super forcefully, even though I put it on both the ham and the top half of the bun. It was a lot more forward than the other one. Wow. Obviously, I'm using fresh croissants as opposed to frozen ones. I should not. I think in hindsight, I should not have salted the eggs. I didn't put a lot on there. I don't usually use a whole bunch as a rule, but I didn't, like I put about half of what I normally do on there. But the sauce and the ham and the cheese are all kind of coming together in a way that I don't really. They're still good. Actually, it strikes me it would have been better if I would have had a different sauce, though. This one is just, I get pockets of it, it's just too astringent. Which is really interesting because it worked really well on just the ham and cheese. Interesting. The sandwich itself is phenomenal. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with over easy or over medium cheesy eggs. I think the other one might have been a bit richer. And I think with the eggs, I don't have a lot of that richness here. I mean, obviously I have the yolks, but the whites are... Whatever the reason, it's just not working as well. Still really good, though. Not like I would want to throw it out. I just think for breakfast food, what would have been really good in there would have been one of those crispy hash browns from like McDonald's, or like they sell them in grocery stores now too. And air fry that thing until it gets nice and crispy. Then have the croissant, that hash brown with this sauce. Then throw some more. Then put the eggs on top, and that's about all you need. You know, as far as like the sauce, I think you would have a pretty decent balance there. But yeah, I just don't. I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about the sauce. It's fine. Like it represents the style pretty well. I don't know. The only thing you could do to really improve this was to add some heat to it. But like I said, you know, the Texas Pete is fine. What's her name? Try Me has one that's fine. And I think it's just kind of in that category where there's better stuff than it, to be sure. There's a lot worse stuff, but if you want to introduce somebody to the Louisiana, that's why I think the Texas thing is so funny. If you want to introduce somebody to the Louisiana style of cayenne sauce, this is like you'd be hard pressed to find a better example. And I think it'd be good for that. Like I probably wouldn't seek this out. It's, you know, kind of overpriced for what it is. But like I will have no problem whipping through the rest of this bottle like I've already kind of tore through this, because a lot of Louisiana style sauces I've had recently have been ones I've had to try to modify and just kind of try to work my way through. But this one, where it's pretty indicative of something that I really love, and I haven't had it for a while, it's just bombs away. So, yeah, definitely decent, super solid for what it is. Like I said, it's very, very middle of the road. I don't think you'll be either overjoyed or disappointed getting it. It just is one of those type sauces, I guess. And we'll just leave it right there. So this was the 4 6's Salt Creek Hot Sauce. Number 4. in peace to serve the flame.